Hello everyone, this is Joseph Ojepele from Droided Consulting, and today I'm going to be teaching us how to add users and roles to Zoho Books, and it's so easy and straightforward. So all we need to do, right, is to go to the settings. You click on settings, and the moment you click on settings, you go to users and roles. Should in case you don't even know how to locate it, you can easily go to the search button and click on users, and you see users, roles, and user preference. So we want to click on user, right? We want to add a user to the system. So how do we do that? You click on invite user. So you want to invite the user, right? The moment you click on invite user, it's going to demand that you put in the user email, which is the most vital one, the user email, and the username, which is probably the first name and the last name. So, you know, so how do you do that? We select, choose user, add user. No, it's not going to bring you to all these. This is the Finance Plus. I'm just talking about books in itself. So you can actually just assign users, to yes, you can assign users to different applications like that. But this is not where we are coming to actually. So an add user. This is what is going to demand of you. So we have Joseph. Joseph. This should be Joseph, right? Last name or Jekunle. So my email address, right? And the moment you type in your email, right? You type in your email address. The moment you click on add, this is an invalid email really. But if I type in my email address, the moment I click on add, the system is going to send a notification to that mail. So all you need to do, right, is just to receive it. All you need to do is just to add, is just to receive, um, that particular mail. So once you receive it, right, you'll be able to log in into that database in itself. So once you come here, right, the next thing you want to know how to do now is to be able to create roles, right? To be able to see how that you can invite users into your database, into the system. We also want to learn how to create roles. How are we able to create roles, right, within the system? How are we able to create roles? Not just create roles, we create roles and we also assign those roles to some users. Because something about Zoho Books is that it's a very friendly, user-friendly software, right? That is flexible enough to accommodate um, some certain things. So let's go back to the settings. We are going back and we see roles. You click on roles. So we have some default roles here like the admin, the staff, and time sheet staff. So we want to add a new role. So what do? We click on new role. So what is this role name? Let's say this is manager, right? And the description can be the same. Maybe the description is probably for internal purposes, right? So what is this role all about? The role is for you to be able to streamline, right, some certain things you want your workers, your staff, your organization to have access to. Because Zoho Books definitely, or Zoho in itself, is a is a is an access rights software. So it's software that that you can actually streamline, right, your access or the right to access to some certain things. So let's assume I want to give this guy the role to maybe full access. Full access will mean that you'll be able to view, create, edit, and assign owners. You'll be able to do different things on this particular module. But let's assume I just want to give him the role of create but not edit and delete. So what he will be able to do, right? What the manager will be able to do is that we'll be able to create, we won't be able to edit or delete within the system. So it goes the same way. It goes the same way for your items, for your banking also. You can also give, you can say, okay, I want this particular row. I want you to be able to view it alone, but not create or edit or delete. It goes the same way for your sales, for your purchase, even your chart of account that involves your journal, your the budgets and the timesheet. It goes on and on, and even the settings. You can say I want this particular person to have access to some certain settings and not to some certain settings. So you can do all that here. And even the dashboard, right? If I click on total payable here, so what the person is going to have access to, is the payables on the dashboard. It's not going to have access to the receivables or the cash flow. And if I click on total receivable, you'll be able to have access to both, right? And it goes the same way for even your reports also, right? Your reports, you want to tell the system, do you want this particular person to have access to the business overview report and what have you. You want the person to have access to only banking reports. And even within the banking report, you can also still limit it to some certain things, like, okay, and have access to tax, have access to your payable reports. And when we are done with that, you can now go ahead to save, right? So the moment you save, we've been able to create, we've able to successfully create a role within the system. So how do I assign, right? How do I assign that role to a particular user? So we have to go back, right? The moment to go back, you go to, let's go back to user, right? So this is a user within the system. So what do I do? I did edit, and this is it. So I want to change this role to admin, from admin to manager. So it simply means the moment I change it from admin to manager, what I'm telling the system is that I want this particular user to have access to only the manager role, right? And you can still come back to to change it probably to admin and what have you, and go ahead to save. Okay, you cannot change your own status. Okay, this is because of we have only one user, right, registered in the system. And I told us earlier that when you invite a user, he gets a notification for him to, like a Gmail link, for him to have access into your database. So once he does that, you can definitely just, come here to modify the rule and modify it, and save it. The moment you save it, then the person have access to the things you want the person to have access to. So I remain, Joseph Ojekule from Dreaded Consulting, and this is how you can add users. Add these are you can add users and roles to the system, and streamline your access or the access of your staff within the system. So we'll see you in our next video, and make sure you follow us for more. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye bye.